computer art assignment, we are going to create the effect of graffiti on some kind of wall or surface. I decided to use kind of a train car image and also a font that I downloaded online. So first thing we're going to need to do is rather than kind of write or paint out the graffiti lettering, we can go ahead and find a font online. If we do a Google search of free graffiti fonts, that's also going to be part of kind of the tutorial here is how to download and add a font to Photoshop Elements. So if we go down here, I just click on the first link, 1001 free fonts. We've got a bunch of options here. This Degrassi font looks pretty cool. I like that one. I actually like this aerosol font too, but as you can see, there are pages and pages and pages of fonts that we can download. I think I'm going to go with this first one, kind of like the bold outlining on this. So as it says here, free to download, so we're going to go ahead and click on the download link. What we're then going to do is go back to Photoshop. First, actually, what we'll do is we'll go to our Finder. Okay, so we'll take our Finder window and open that up. You'll want to go to your Downloads folder. On your computers, you'll have to go to Student, and then go to your Downloads folder, and then find the font you downloaded, and this was Degrassi, I believe. Once you find that file, it will be a zip file, so you'll have to double click on that, and once you double click on that zip file, it'll open. You'll see a folder right there next to it. Okay. Next thing we want to do, actually, don't leave your Finder window. What we want to do is go to Applications. You want to scroll down and find the application called Font Book. Okay, here we double click and open up the Font Book. The Font Book would be the app that basically controls what text you use on your computer. So as you can see, there's another font that I used before. This one's Graffiti font. You want to hit the plus sign above the column of kind of font names, and what I'm going to go to is, again, I'm going to go to my Downloads folder. I'm going to scroll down and find the name of the font that I had unzipped. So unzipped this file. I'll select the Degrassi TTF file, and I will click on Open. And once that is validated and the fonts are loaded up, you should see them appear, and now we can use them in just about any application. What you may need to do is quit Photoshop Elements and then load it back up again in order to actually find that font in your menu. So we'll see if it pops up when I start my own here. I'm going to go ahead and start a new project. We want this project to be in inches. We'll make this project about 10 width for inches and 8 by height. We'll say OK. The other thing we're going to need to do is choose a background for our image. So we probably should look for that now, since the next thing we're going to do is try and put in our font. So some places where you might find graffiti art or street art could be places like bridges. Train cars are very common ones as well. So I'm going to go ahead and look for another train car image. Go into my Google Images here. We got some pretty old school ones, and I might just go ahead and look for one similar to the one I had used on my previous demonstration. These are all, a lot of them are looking very old school. I had a good one on my previous example. So what I could do is I could go ahead and use that same image. I wonder if I make this not plural, if I will get any different results, because I think, yeah, here we go. So these are a little bit better. Some of the ones that I'm seeing now, not so old-fashioned. I don't really want them to be old-fashioned. Here's that same image. Alright, so this is what I was looking for. I'm going to go ahead and copy this image, go back into Photoshop Elements. I will paste this down. As you can see, it is way too big, and it looks like something may have happened to that image when I pasted it. I'm going to go ahead and try and create a new layer here. Okay, I've created a bitmap image. I've got to go ahead and change this from bitmap mode. I think, to grayscale, and then it will let me change the RGB color. Um, Very interesting thing that happened there, did not see. But now this image should come in the right way. So if I take this image now, scale it down so that it fits within my space, we'll get moving on the actual lettering part of this project. So I've got the height to fit. Now I'm just kind of moving this into place where I think it will work. Alright, so the edges get lost a little bit, but that's okay as long as, you know, vertically it fits and I can see the entire train car. We're good to go. The tool we're going to use is the type mask tool, which we used just 1 or 2 assignments ago. We introduced the type mask tool. I'm going to go ahead and just start a type box here. Maybe adjust the size of it a little bit to fit the place where I'm going to want this type to go. So right in there will work. I'll go into my text menu and hopefully I can find that font that I just downloaded, and there it is, I believe, right here. Degrassi was the font I was going for, and my street, our name would be K Money, and so you may feel free to make up your own kind of street painter name. Any kind of combination of initials or letters from your name, maybe part of your first name, part of your last name, anything that you'd like to make will work. Okay, so I've got my type selected, and now I have my outline that I can start to fill in. So what I'm going to do is create a new layer here, and I'm just going to take my kind of selection area and move it down a little bit. I'm just nudging it a little bit with my arrow keys just to make sure it actually really fits, you know, within this kind of train car. I'm going to go ahead and take a gradient, and I'm going to fill my text with a linear gradient. I already had a pretty interesting one here selected, but I think I might just mix up a newer one for this. Maybe I'll take a combination of kind of these light tans. I like these light tan colors, so maybe I'll do something like greens with light tans. Maybe I'll mix this one up. I would mix your gradients to be at least 3 colors. That way you get a really interesting, nice fade kind of effect going on. And so that is pretty good, I think, for kind of an interesting gradient fade. Maybe get more of that green side there. Alright, and then I'll go ahead and kind of apply my gradient to fill this area, and as you can see, it's filling mainly the outlines, which I did not really foresee with this font. I think what I can do later is maybe adjust it and fill the inside as well. Let me think for a second. If I were to flip or do the inverse, that could be another way, but actually I'm going to go ahead with this and see how this looks. So right now it looks just kind of like type, you know, just slapped over the front of the train car. So the next thing we'll have to do is kind of change our layer styles, and the best one I think for that is overlay. And overlay is going to make this kind of background of the train car kind of shine through a little bit more. Now the other thing that we may want to do to this is add some different effects. So we'll look up here in our layer styles. We'll go to layer styles up here in this menu, and we'll have some different things that we've looked at a little bit before, some bevel edges, some different kinds of glowing edges, things that we can kind of try and do to help our type stand out. We don't want it to be too bold though, because we do want it to have more the appearance that that something is actually painted on there, not engraved on there, because that's not really realistic. So I'm going to take the bevel off for now. Remember, if you double click on this FX, you'll get the kind of more detailed options for your piece here. So if I turn on glow, maybe I can get some kind of better effect. Now, you know, the glow does kind of help, and it looks more like an airbrushed line than the bevel does. The bevel kind of makes it look more like an engraving. So that's more along the lines of what I want to do. We can make the glow get bigger here, maybe just a little bit smaller, but that's pretty good. You could always adjust opacity and things like that here too. Um, so I might go maybe around 60% there, and I think that that looks pretty good. And so that is pretty much all there is to this kind of quick assignment in our computer art class. Remember, your location could be anything. It could be bridges, buildings, anywhere that you might want to go ahead, tag make yours. Graffiti artists a lot of times use train cars because they transported, they moved, and so people could see them in all kinds of places. So that was kind of the enticing part of doing that. So I hope you have a lot of luck in choosing and downloading your fonts and make something cool and creative.